Hey everybody, welcome to a live stream. This is one where I'm going to be talking about driving around Hokkaido in the winter. I did this recently in a video I uploaded in Kitami, which is the very extreme north of Hokkaido, and I'm going to share with you that experience renting a car from Toyota Rent-A-Car, and then some of my experience driving around Hokkaido in the snow. It's kind of a different beast. It's not the same. In fact, it was downright different than anywhere else I've ever driven before, except perhaps in the United States, in the Northeast in the winter, something like this. If you're in Canada, this is probably something that's not new at all. How you doing, everybody? Looking at the live chat. I have a picture-in-picture here because I'm going to show you some of the VTR, the video here, starting from the rental. So let's get right to it. This is the car rental area, and you can see there's two of them, Suzuran and what's the other one? Yeah, Popular. And the weird thing with this is that like they're right next to each other, so I don't know why they need to have two of them. This is the rental car that I got. It was a small compact Toyota, pretty cheap. I think. All right, like there's my car. I'm about to take off from the Sapporo Nuchitose Airport. This is where I was picked up from the airport, taken here. Got the car. It is snowing. I'm a little bit worried about driving in the winter. It's about a 300-kilometer trip from here to Kitame, which is where I'm going to be going on this trip, because tonight they have an amazing yakiniku festival with about 2,000 people in minus 30-degree weather Celsius. This is going to be a lot of fun. All right, let's get on the road. So the car had a navigation system on it, and you could change it into English. You see where there's a guide right there. So some of the stuff was in Japanese. It just depends on the car. But almost all of them from Toyota Rent-A-Car had English menu. But you had to, before you get into the car and leave, ask the people if they could set up the navigation in English, and they'll do that. They're pretty happy to do that, because when they don't get a lot of foreign rental car people, actually. I think maybe it's a little bit scary for people to get into a rent-a-car, especially Americans, because we drive on the other side of the road. But one of the great things with Hokkaido is that it is really easy to drive there because there's not a lot of traffic around. So there's not a lot of stress. Hold on, I think we'll get the camera a little bit down. Okay, there we go. Yeah, so it's not as stressful. Because there's not like traffic like you would have in Tokyo, which makes Hokkaido really perfect for rent-a-car, and almost a necessity unless you have a Japan Rail Pass and you kind of already know where you're going to be going. John, looking cool, thank you. Yeah, this is something I wanted to do because in the latest upload, the world's coldest barbecue festival in Kitami, check it out if you haven't already. I drive from Chitose to Kitami, and it's about 300 kilometers. It took me about 4 hours to drive all the way over there, and the drive was pretty nice. I could relax quite a bit, and I think it was because there just wasn't a lot of traffic, and the view around me was just beautiful. So I think after you get into the car and you drive for about, I don't know, like 10-15 minutes, you get used to driving on the left side. Just your brain switches over, and as someone who's been driving on the right side, that wasn't too much of an issue to move over and drive on the left after about 10-15 minutes of driving in it. You kind of should study the rules a little bit in advance. Let me show you some more pictures now. So after you get in the car, this is what the scenery of North Hokkaido looks like. It's pretty. It seems pretty snowy. I actually just leaving the rent-a-car right now, the rent-a-car agency, and turning and getting onto the highway. Pretty easy. And then the signs above, this is pretty good to know. The signs above are almost all in Japanese and English, so it makes it pretty easy to get around. The signs are blue, and you can see right here the highway. Take this lane. It's very international. I might have sped this up a little bit. Sorry, it was a little loud there. So I'm going at 500% of the normal speed, so you can see what the highway looks like. As soon as you get on, again, there's like nobody out there, right? It's so nice, especially in winter, especially on a weekday. Now, Chitose Airport is very separate from Sapporo, the city. So you're starting off from a point which is very easy to leave, to get onto the highway. And if you look at a map of Hokkaido, you can see like this is such a perfect point for you to go either down south to Hakodate or go to anywhere around Hokkaido from Chitose Airport. The rental car that I typically get is Toyota Rent-A-Car. And the reason why I use Toyota Rent-A-Car is because I've noticed like the other agencies, they sometimes might have hidden fees or they might not be as clear. So when you bring the car back, there's like stuff that you didn't know about, or they're more apt to ding you for anything that you didn't catch before. Toyota Rent-A-Car is more expensive, but I've always found if you paid for like a reputable organization in Japan, you don't have any problems. And if I compare it to, I've only rented a car 2-3 times in the United States, and each time was painful. I don't know, just like these charges kept coming up, and you don't get that with Toyota Rent-A-Car. Everything was pretty straight up right from the beginning. And I think the other ones, Nippon Rent-A-Car is another one, Oryx is another one. They're pretty clear about it, but I pick a company and I kind of stick with it because you can accumulate points. Yeah, this video was right before the pandemic started in February. So I thought also, like, when you're driving around in a car, it's also much safer than public transportation. And we didn't know what was happening with the pandemic at the time when I rented the car for this episode. The Diamond Princess was docked in Yokohama. There were more cases in Hokkaido than there were anywhere else. So I was quite worried, and renting a car, although I was going to do it anyways, did give me peace of mind. But as someone who travels with a lot of photo equipment, and if you have a family of, like 3 or 4 or 5 or more, renting a car takes a lot of stress out of traveling, because boarding a train with all the luggage, getting off of the train, all the other people around can be quite stressful. A car changes everything for you. Here, let's take a look at the website here. This is the Toyota Rent-A-Car. It's all in Japanese. Hold on, I'm going to go over here and navigate. Can I change this? I think you can change it to English. Yeah, you can. All right, cool. So there's a menu that allows me to change it into English. Begin your journey in Japan. How cool is that? I think in advance, you can pick where you want to rent from. Where you want to rent from. So I picked, I believe, the Suzuran, or one of the places near Hokkaido. So they have their own page that makes it easy for you to see what's available. And in summer, which is the high season for Hokkaido, you have to book a car in advance. And there's a premium also for rent-a-cars in the summer. It goes up a little bit just because demand is so high. WRX Turbo's in the house. How you doing? It's nice to see you here. Let me get back into here. Scroll down. You can select the car of your choice. That's what select means here. All right, let's push this. I usually look in Japanese, okay? It just seems maybe the prices are different. I'm not sure. I don't think so. So there's economy, there's economy plus, and then they have K car. I'm just scrolling here. So let's take a look at some of these. I usually will pick economy or SUV. They have an SUV and it's smaller, but you can pick this. It's a little bit more. Let's take a look at some of the cars. Let's see if the car I selected is here. I think that was an Aqua that I showed before. Sometimes they don't have them available. So let's pick the economy and see what they have here. Oh, okay. So it's showing in the Tokyo area, and Nihonbashi is not far from my neighborhood. So it's region picking up where the local one is here. All right, let's see. Let's just select the Nihonbashi one in Tokyo then. and you can see the cars. Usually they'll tell you what's available. Select this location. And yeah, I did. Search for car. Hey, Talianden 2, thank you. Oh, wow, this is expensive. I think it's just because it's last minute and they don't have anything available. Let's pick on the calendar next Thursday, 2 Thursdays from now. And then we'll return it within a day. Search for car. So you can see like searching is pretty easy. Wow, this is pretty pricey, actually. Maybe it's the location I selected. Now I'm a gold member of Toyota, and if you're with, I think, which car rental? One of the car rental Hertz maybe. You can transfer that over and you become a gold member, and it's all 20% off from the price that you see. Actually, these mini cars on my phone are cheaper. They're like 5,000. It's half the price. I don't know. Maybe it's more insurance or something. Let's pick this here. I'm going to select economy, and you can see it asks you right up the top if you want an ETC card. And an ETC card is FastPass. It's like a card that allows you to go through the toll booths really quick. It's very important to have one. I think it's good to rent. They're 300 yen per day, I believe, if you rent them from Toyota Rent-A-Car, which is not so bad because at the end, you just pay it all, right? So you accumulate all of the toll charges on your ETC card. When you get to Toyota Rent-A-Car, they pay everything for you. I mean, everything is on the same bill, which is great if it's a business expense because it's all out there. Craig Porter, have a day of rental on me. Craig, that is awesome. And you probably now will see a live stream from a rental car with Kanai and I really soon because we got to go to Costco. I always go there by Rent-A-Car. Thank you, Craig. I appreciate that. That'll cover it too. There's insurance stuff here, and of course you're gonna get the insurance, but it's all like there's no like special super insurance or prepaid. Like all these add-ons are not there. It's pretty simple. And I found this, that if you don't have time to return the car right away, when you get the gas at Toyota Rent-A-Car, it's almost comparable to going to the gasoline station, the gas station itself, which I thought was really incredible. So I stopped going to the gas station unless it was like right there. I would just return the car as it was. And the price that they quoted me was very similar to the same thing I would have paid myself. And it took out all of the pain. And that makes me want to go to Toyota Rent-A-Car again because I know like you just build relationships with people. Tigrahov, do you ever celebrate Otani from Otsu on Angels baseball team? Actually, Otani is from Iwate Prefecture, not from Hokkaido. I think he just played there. I'm not sure, but I think he's from Iwate. And yeah, we all celebrate him in this country. We do. He's pretty big deal. I think somebody tried to throw a ball at him, and that made news here. Brandani is in the house, and Chan is here, stuck in the trunk. Hopefully not. You can get out and watch this. Hired a car and drove around Mount Fuji and accidentally went through the toll. Oh, very embarrassing. Yeah, and I wish I knew about the ETC cards. Definitely. And the tolls are not cheap either. Were you in the back of the trunk, and was there somebody else who had to pay, though? That I kind of want to know. All right, so back to the page here on the Toyota Rent-A-Car. There you can fill in your name and address and your driver's license information, your flight information. I think this is all really set up for tourists. So I'm gonna jump back to the Japanese one and see if the prices are different, because I'm kind of curious about this now. And then we're gonna look at some more footage and talk about my experience driving up in Hokkaido once again. All right, back to Japanese. Toyota Rent-A-Car. Start over. English. じゃなくて英語選択して Okay, so let's pick next Tuesday from 8 a.m. because that's when they mostly open, and then we're going to return the car. Okay, that's where we're picking it from. Oh, I guess we can pick where we're picking it from. So let's pick Chitose Airport, Kensaku. And right here. Boom. Suzuran. which is one of the choices that I showed you before. Wow. Okay. And the time to return the car, let's pick the next day at 8 p.m. So it's like a 2-day rental. Let's search. So this is the Japanese site. I want to see if the price is any different. No, it's not. This is really expensive. What's up with that? Seriously, I would not pay these prices. I would search around. Okay, so here's the regular cars, and I'm going to show you the SUV. This is from Hokkaido. This is the Vitz is a pretty good economy car here in Japan. Now, economy usually means it's not a hybrid, and you're going to have to pay a little bit more for the gasoline, I think, than you would with a economy plus. Usually the difference between economy plus and economy is the hybrid, which means less gas and impact on the economy. The Yaris was a decent drive, and the Rumi, which is, I believe, like a boxy car with a really high roof, they're great, but the tires are so small, and I found that like taking curves too fast can result in you tipping over. So you might want to think about that. But it's very comfortable for the family if you get one of these like boxy cube cars that they have. The Economy Plus, again, the Corolla is in here. The Aqua is here. I like driving the Aqua, and Kanai does too. These prices are a little bit too high, but I don't know. I guess a lot of people are they're discouraging you from renting the car. The standards are interesting. The standards include the Prius here, which is on this price listed as like $200 a day. Oh no, these are for 2 days. Okay, so cut that in half. So it's about $100 a day for the Prius, and that includes I believe the insurance is baked in there. The Economy Plus would come out to about $8,500 per day, $85, and the Economy would be about $65. So you can see it's a gradual increase. And then there's the Mark X, which I've rented before. And the Mark X would come out to $150 a day, or a little bit less than that. But it's a pretty good ride. It's a pretty good ride. That's not a hybrid, so you're going to pay more for gas. Then there's the like super luxury, which is $250 a day. And the Crown is in there, which is a pretty good car. Let me go to the SUVs, because sometimes I rent... all right, here's the SP Class 1. I'll rent... Where is it? Here. Oh, they don't have them. They have like these mini... Oh, here they are. I think they're sold out. The Rise is one that I've rented before. That's the blue one right here. That was really nice. And Kanai and I drove this once to Niigata for the fireworks festival there last year. And it was really good. It's a smaller SUV. You're higher off the ground, and it's a really good drive. But it's about $25 more a day, I think, than the normal cars. But it was worth it to us because, I don't know, I just wanted something nice. And, oh, you can get a sports car. The sports car that they have here is the 86, which is not available. The 86 is like a collaboration between Toyota and another car maker. I'm not sure which one here. Okay, I'm gonna. Here's more information on the 86. Whoa, you can rent a sports car. Look at that, mama. Oh, next time you know what? Maybe with Craig's super chat, I don't think Kanai's gonna be happy if I rent this though, because there's no place for Liu in the back. But the 86 is a pretty sweet car to rent. I've never done it though. I'll have to one of these days. Yeah. So, I'm pretty comfortable with Toyota Rent-A-Car, but I would check around. The thing is, if you do try to look for budget rent-a-car place, keep in mind that those charges do come back in other ways, just like everywhere else. So, the other thing with renting a car, let me get back to the main screen here, is that you want to have an international license. And you can just watch this in the background here. You want to have an international license, and getting that in advance, is a necessity. They won't accept your American license. So the AAA or the auto club in your country usually will provide that. That's needed with your regular license and your passport in order to rent a car here.
Right,
if you are a resident, of
airport, this is where I was picked up.
a second. If you're a resident of Japan, you can use an international driver's license for the first year. After that, you need to have a Japanese driver's license, and they actually check. A lot of the rent-a-car places will, like, they kind of know. And if the police pull you over, it might become a problem. I know friends that have gotten away with this, but because you can get the international driver's license issued, and they don't know that you're a resident of Japan and all this other stuff. But in Japan, legally, you're supposed to get a Japanese driver's license within a year. I didn't drive until I got my Japanese driver's license, so it wasn't a problem. I didn't need the international driver's license, but if you're renting a car here from abroad, do keep that in mind. Everybody's pretty friendly, though. I've never heard of anybody having any issues with renting a car from agencies. Toyota Rent-A-Car, again, Toyota. The rental car companies usually have their own rental places. I saw that Honda had rental car companies too, because they want to rent out their cars, which means they probably sell more. And then that's kind of a neat thing, where the car companies themselves are doing the rental car business in Japan. Let me talk a little bit about the experience driving in Hokkaido in the winter now. Wow. So I guess I'm also humming in this, but you can see there's some snow on the road, and it is a little bit icy sometimes in Hokkaido. The roads are not plowed because there's so much distance between towns and cities. It could take a long time between the roads are plowed. Now you can see in this shot here, it's a much better situation, and the snow had fallen. It actually, on the other side of this tunnel, will start to fall again. Sometimes I do cross the line, and there's a beeper thing that'll tell you to do it. You can change the navigation lady from Japanese to English as well, which is helpful. She'll tell you to stay away from the line, which sometimes I do, because I want to stay away from the snow in the middle. Alright, this is a long tunnel, and on the other side of the tunnel, I saw this. Wait for it. I guess you gotta wait. You really do have to wait for it as I go through the tunnel. I'll take some of your questions as well if you do have them. Okay, here's the other side of the tunnel now, and you can see the snow is starting to come down, and I'm more central. This was after Obihiro, I believe, and driving up now straight north. And when the snow came down, the roads also became more icy, and so you do have to slow down. And all right, we should be back here. Sorry, the MacBook Pro was not plugged in here. I was freaking out. We're back. That's good. Whew. Alright, so this is the drive. Where was I as I was freaking out because the battery died? It wasn't fully plugged in down there. The roads do become quite icy, and you can see in Hokkaido the weather changes pretty quickly, so you have to be ready for just about anything, especially in the winter. But you know, if the locals are driving it, if the locals are driving, then it's okay to be out there. If you've never driven in the snow, just take it really slow. And a lot of people have asked me about snow tires. You can tell Toyota Rent-A-Car, because you're renting in Hokkaido, where exactly you're going to be headed, and they will make the decision whether or not to put snow tires on. But it is an issue in some places. And there are times where in the middle of the night it will snow super heavy, and you'll wake up and your car is under like 3 feet of snow, like a meter of snow. And not only do you have to dust it off, if you don't have snow tires, it's really hard to get out of the situation. You can see I passed through the snowy areas, and now I'm just driving. The sun came out, and it really does dry off the roads here. They do salt it and they do maintain it, but you can still see there's some snow in the center. It is hard to predict the weather, but oh boy, I'm moving pretty fast. I think this is 700% driving towards Kitami. The highways are pretty nice. Everything in Japan, because it is a very I don't know, it's how do I say? It's a developed country, so the highways system here is amazing. Chan writes in here, when I was in Iceland, cars had studs on the tires. Do Japanese have studs on the tires? They do have snow tires, but it's I don't think it's quite the same thing as stud tires. All right, here it is. I got they also have a lot of service areas in Japan. So you don't have to go too far before you hit one of these. There's always vending machines open 24 hours, sometimes food vending machines. And here I'd left the GoPro on. I forgot to turn it off, and you're going to see me jumping out of the car in a second. Yeah, the service areas have really clean bathrooms. I've never had a dirty restroom at a service area. Again, sometimes there's restaurants. Usually the restaurants will, in really local areas, they will close in the evening. But usually there's like a food vending machine or something. Oh, there I go. I'm getting out and forgotten to turn the camera off. A lot of them have gasoline stations too. But here, this one is a small one. This would be called a parking area or a PA on the map. And the service areas, or SA, are a lot bigger. And when I see them on the map, sometimes I'll drive through a PA to get to an SA, service area, because I know that they're going to have better restaurants, more services, because that's what they do there. Some of them even have like amusement parks and things like this, the bigger ones. So if you do your research, you can find some of the best parking areas in Japan. Some of them even have specialized cuisine, which is pretty crazy. And the parking or service areas, what makes them special is that they're run by the local people. So you'll find like festival-like food stands or food trucks there serving local cuisines. Some of the restaurants from the local towns will have a satellite there, especially if they're famous, selling the cuisine to drivers going by, which helps to attract tourism to the town. So you might actually get off on the next off-ramp and go check out that town. So they do that at service areas in Japan. It's very smart. But I got to tell you, the Japanese service areas are amazing. I think that's in itself almost a reason to drive around. Did I ever come back? How long? I'm still watching me in. There I was. Okay, it loops back. I was getting a drink from the vending machine. Is this in slow motion? So this is a construction site. So sometimes in Hokkaido, you have to go around. So in local areas that are off the highway, sometimes it's just one road. So you have to pay attention and stop and let traffic come through, or go through slower. And if you see somebody, you might have to go in reverse sometimes. That's happened. But here's night is starting to come on. You can see the roads, the highways going up to Kitami from Obihiro are beautiful. They're well maintained. And the speed limit, I never really go over 100. It might be 90, but Hokkaido might be 110. But I typically will stay at or below the speed limit, just because I'm in Japan and I don't want to get a ticket. What am I doing here? I'm doing like 67, or what is it? Like 67 through the tunnel or something. So yeah, that's about it. This is a lot of tunnels in Japan too. Do you have any questions? I'm looking at the chat right now. Any questions about driving in Hokkaido? I think that if you do come to Japan, even if you have a rail pass, I think it might be worth renting a car and driving for I don't know, even for 6 hours. You can rent a car for as little as 3 hours, depending on the car, or you can rent it for 6 hours. I do a 6-hour rental when Kanai and I go to Costco, for example, just for I'm looking at the chat right now, just for food runs and stuff like that. A speeding ticket here is quite expensive, I heard. I don't know. I've never gotten one, and I don't know anybody who has. Some of the foreigners try to talk their way out, pretending like they don't know Japanese, but the cops now have like translation machines now, so it's not that easy to get off like it was before. So keep that in mind. Hello, hi, 821. Do you get speeding tickets? Do you get speeding tickets up there in Western U.S.? I can't remember the last time I had two hands on the wheel. Really, I actually drive 10 and 2 and just got into a habit of doing it. When I get on the highway, a lot of people put their hands down on the base. I still keep it at 10 and 2, and I don't know why. I very rarely will have one hand on the wheel. I don't know. I think because the driving test to get the license was so hardcore that I really got used to just doing it the right way. I don't know. And, you have to, they put you through a grinder when you get your driver's license here. And you never forget. It's pretty harsh. Some good questions here. How expensive is fuel? Gasoline is expensive compared to, it used to be, because now in America, the gasoline is really expensive. And here's the thing, okay? The price of gasoline in Japan, from like 15 years ago, the increase is just marginal. It really is not that much more. But I saw in the United States, it's so much more. So I don't know, I guess it's taxes or something. But if you compare the prices of fuel from the U.S., the gasoline price rises, and in Japan, I think the U.S. has had higher prices, like faster inflation, and which we pay by gas in Japan by the liter. So the prices to Americans who pay by the gallon, it used to be like 1 liter was the same price as 1 gallon, but now that a gallon is so expensive in the U.S., it's not as expensive. So driving in Japan, the gasoline is more expensive than the U.S., but it isn't as bad as it used to be comparably to prices in the U.S. right now. A lot of the places are full service, especially in Tokyo. But when you go out to the countryside, a lot of the places are self-service unless you ask for service, and then they'll fill your tank for you in most situations. So if you've never had, and like I grew up in New Jersey, and we don't have self-service. Everything is full service in the entire state of New Jersey. So New Jerseyites, unless you've driven a lot out of state, are going to be a little bit shocked at having to do self-service. And some countries might be the same way, but you have to, I don't know, get used to doing that. And when I first had to do it, I remember other drivers doing it for me and showing me in Japanese. It was pretty cool experience. And you can pay by credit card as well. Some of the gas stations like Eneos, which is one of the chains here, you can use your point card for Tsutaya, like a T card, and get points for getting gas, which is pretty cool. But they accept most major credit cards. I didn't have any problem with American Express, Visa, MasterCard, anything like that. But I'll tell you this, Japan is also a cash country, and don't depend on plastic the entire time. Always have a few $100s or like 30 or 40,000 yen on you, just in case you get into a bind with your credit card. It doesn't happen as much as it did about 10 years ago, but it still could, and you want to have that cash. You don't want to go searching for an ATM in the countryside, especially because they might not have one, and sometimes the convenience stores are not so convenient in the middle of nowhere, right? So make sure you do have like a couple $100s on you, and you can always change it back if you don't need it at the airport, but it's always good to have. Can you rent an electric vehicle? Yes. So it is more pricey. If you look now, let me go back to the rent-a-car here. I'll show you the electric cars. I used to rent right here. This is a Prius, I believe. Oh, this is a Mirai. Mirai is a new one. I would rent the Prius quite often. And okay, back to the rental cars. Most of the cars above economy are hybrids. Sometimes the difference between the economy and the economy plus is just being hybrid, which means you pay less for gas, which means that you're probably paying the same amount. But I will usually pick the Economy Plus because Kanai loves this Aqua, which is, I believe that's a hybrid too. Or the standard. The Prius here is, here it is right here. The Prius is a hybrid, is a full EV car, and it drives really smooth. But the problem with the Prius is that the window in the back is so narrow, it's hard to see back there, and I don't like it. But it's a pretty nice drive. It's a smooth drive except for that back window. I probably would never buy one though. There are other better EV cars, or full electric cars, but that's one of them. Prius is a good one that they have. I haven't rented from anybody except for, no, that's not true. Once I think we did Nippon Rent-A-Car, but almost all of them were exclusive to Toyota Rent-A-Car. The Yaris is another SUV-like car. There it is. This is a sweet-looking car. I don't know. Maybe I'll try this one out with Craig's donation there. But in general, though, you can pick the car. And Toyota Rent-A-Car, it has a pretty good selection of Toyota-only cars. If you want to rent other ones, Nippon Rent-A-Car or Oryx are pretty good companies. There's some other ones, too. Honda had their own Rent-A-Car, which is Honda only. I just want a nice car that drives smooth and is safe. And the thing with Toyota that I've liked is that I feel like they maintain the cars really well. And it's usually almost a new car. There's nothing older than like 2 or 3 years old. And I think they just resell it back after it's done being a rental car or it's auctioned off. But I've always had really good experiences, and I want to be safe. And I know that Toyota's cars are well maintained and the people are pretty professional. And I've had staff there who could speak a little bit of English. They even have magnets that you can get. In fact, when you get there, I know sometimes we want to avoid trying to feel like being a tourist, but if you're not used to driving in Japan, get one of these magnets that they have that say that you're a foreigner visiting Japan. It says like international visitor or something. It's all different. It depends on the prefecture. You can also get it at the city office. At sometimes when you arrive at the airport, you can ask them at the rental car agents. They always have it at the airport. It's a magnet that'll attach onto the back. It allows other drivers to know that you ain't around here. You ain't from around here. So other people are more cautious. But what I found, and when I use it and I am from around here, people are friendlier. People like you more, and they wave, and they're curious, and they talk to you. And that's kind of a good thing. So I encourage you to get that for your car, just for fun. Just do it. Even if you live here in Japan, do it. It's kind of cool. And you can keep one if you're local and just put it on your car anytime. And it just, I don't know. If you're a beginner driver, there are marks that you have to put on there. Kanai had hers. She still has hers, maybe. No, she was promoted last month, I believe. She had to renew her license. But I still think she should have those marks on. If you're a senior citizen, you need to have a special mark as well on your car. So those are some of the things that you should be aware of. Good questions. I let my Japanese license expire. I let my U.S. license expire. So now I have to get an international driver's license from Japan when I go back to the U.S. and rent a car on that. That's going to be interesting. The reverse culture shock. I was really nervous to let my American driver's license expire, but I was getting tired of being called in for jury duty. Even though I told them, look, I'm not in the country. I'm not coming back anytime soon. Stop inviting me to jury duty. Is it an invitation? And my father would let me know when I got called in, and I would have to go online and often call them and say, look, please, man. So now I'm not. I think Kanai just came home. Yeah, with Leo. So they were out. He was sleeping. That was another reason why the live stream may or may not have started late. They went for a walk. If you have any questions, you can leave them down below. The audio is out of sync. I apologize for that. We had technical difficulties. Might be like a second. I don't think it's as bad as it used to be. I'm still working this out. YouTube studio streams, there's more problems than there are with Twitch. And so I probably will you'll see when I do Twitch that it's in perfect sync. So I'm not sure what's going on with YouTube, but It's always going to get better and better, and I appreciate just having the platform at all. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments below. I'm happy to answer them about renting a car. But please do take a look at the new video that's out, the world's coldest barbecue festival in Kitami, Hokkaido. It's an awesome episode. The drone shots, you're going to love it. I matched up with the music pretty good. I spent an extra week on it trying to polish it up and get people's names and fix some things. And we have even pretty good subtitles in there. I don't know if we have Indonesian subtitles, but by the way, if you'd like to subtitle these, we on the Discord server have a subtitle group, and I could definitely use your help, especially if you're Japanese and wouldn't mind adding Japanese subtitles or German or French or Spanish especially. We could really use your help. It's all volunteers. They've been doing that, and Chinese too. We really could use your help, or just contact me through the website. Only in Japan TV has a contact form, or the Discord server. I appreciate that. I do have a bunch of postcards left. This is Osaka, and I also have a couple of daimyo packages. So if you'd like to join the daimyo package group, I will send it out. We have taiyaki this month, which are one of my favorite snacks from a famous maker, and mango flavored Kit Kats, and Japanese Lego Shinkansen train piece, which is a series that I'm doing for our daimyo supporters. I believe there are 2 boxes left. So if you're interested in joining, I'm really happy to have the support. Thanks, everybody. I'm already working on the next main channel episode to edit, and we'll be doing some more live streams as well, hopefully from the road. The state of emergency ends at the end of this month in October, and I'll be on the road again, maybe even sooner than that because I've been invited to film. But I've got a lot of location shoots planned for December, and we'll be getting out what I filmed already for the rest of September. So see you next time, everybody. Have a question on Japan? Yeah, check out the Discord server. Thanks, Nightbot, for that. Check out the Discord server. I might be going for a fireside chat. So if you go to the Discord server, I'll go into the fireside chat and continue this in a second party for the next 10-15 minutes as well. So see you on Discord.